My name is Jennifer Seery. My student number is C13334231. I'm in a group with Andrea Panetta, and for our assignment we did a very simple game in processing and imported it into Eclipse. This is the game running in processing. It's just a player moves around the screen controlled by an XML file, and he has to collect the dots that fly across the screen and avoid the platforms. And the colour changes the background, and it has an array list of songs that changes when one song ends. It'll randomly play another one. In our code we have a number of classes. We have assignment 3, we have blue CIR, platforms, player and songs. In the assignment, it's just the main part of our code. We have all our global variables. We have our import and our minimum. We have set the size of the screen to be the actual size of the screen, not just a certain size. And we have all of our arrays created for our objects, and that's just minimum again. And then we have the code there for changing the background variables so it can change color, and that's just setting the player and player update into the assignment. We have some collision detection, so it checks if it collides with the player, so the circles and the squares on the platforms, and then that's just if the player is playing, the songs will play, and then that's just calling the functions fall down and fall across, so it will be controlling the platforms and the circles as they move across the screen. And then we just have very simple key pressed and key release codes in order to control the player and the buttons, and then just player controls that reads in the XML file and controls the player from there. Blue circles, that's just controlling the circles that go across the screen and go up from the bottom. Platforms are our enemies technically in this game, where you do lose lives if you collide with them. That is the player function that we have in the code, so it just controls the player, so the colour of the player, how it moves. It also has in the function update, it has all of our kind of power-ups, so it has changes the player speed when you get to a certain score, circle size when you get to a certain score, and the platform size, so the platforms get bigger, the circles will get smaller, so it is harder to get over time. Then we just have more player control codes, and then we actually draw the player down here. And then this is our array list of songs that we have set up. So we have our songs all added into the array list, and then we have our menu songs, so our menu song class. Our menu song class. That is it in processing. In Eclipse, we did run into a certain number of errors with this because it was hard to port over because of the difference in processing on Eclipse. It ended up that we had to take out our XML file for controlling the player because it could not access this, so it kept giving us a null pointer exception. The same with the music, that had to be taken out as well. We also had to redo the entire player class to move across the screen because it was controlled by the XML file, which obviously could not be imported in. So we had to change it just to simple moving X positions and Y positions. And in order, because we did it in processing, in order to get it actually working in Eclipse, what we had to do is we had to do public static assignment 3 applet, and then we had to reference that in, for example, blue circle.java. Ellipse is a function in processing, so we had to do assignment3.applet.eclipse in order for it to get to reference and to get it to work. And that is the game running in Eclipse. It's quite a bit different to the one that's running in processing, but as I said, from the errors that we ran into, it was just too hard to fix.